Hello,
I'm
Kai
here.
Hagan here. I'm here with Tom Barse, who I'll introduce in a moment, for the third in what is becoming an irregular series of video discussions and interviews with people in our local community about some of the issues that they are dealing with in their personal life, in their business, their nonprofit, depending. We've had an interview with Ken Oldham of the United Way talking about issues affecting our most vulnerable population. There was one last week with some of the leaders and the members of our performing arts community, three folks who shared information about how it's been affecting all the theaters and local performing arts that are obviously unable to do what they do, and how they're dealing with it and how other people can help. But today I'm here with Tom Barse. I've known Tom for a little while, not extremely well, but well enough. He is the owner and operator of the Milkhouse Brewery at Stillpoint Farm in Frederick County, Maryland. It's nestled in the rolling hills and farmland southeast of Libertytown. I've got a lot of farming activities, including wool, sheep, and from products include wool, livestock, meat, and hides. They also produce hops, hay, honey, and beer. Beer is for sale there, along with a place to sit and a little bit of food, sausage or cheese or something to eat with it. And they do hold events, including musical events and other events, none of which can happen right now, but they've been able to, still do some things, and we'll hear a little bit about that. Previously, Tom was a teacher in Montgomery County schools for a decade. Before that, he was a sole practicing attorney in Garrett County and Montgomery County and Frederick County for 20 years. He's currently involved in the community in a number of different ways, and that's how I got to know him. He's in the Northeast Hop Alliance, and he's the president of that for the last 8 years. He's a member of the Frederick County Farm Bureau, a voting member of that. He's a member of the Frederick County Agricultural Business Council, which is associated with county government. I sat on that for 4 years when I was a county commissioner. And the Brewers Association of Maryland. He's also a member of the Government Affairs Committee there. So anyway, welcome, Tom.
Welcome. Good to see you, Kai.
So how are you holding up?
We're holding up okay. Overall, the farm actually is doing okay. The brewery has been closed. We actually, we sold beer to go the first couple of weekends after Governor Hogan's emergency order, stay-at-home order. And we, along with a lot of other breweries in Maryland, were pretty close to running out of crowler cans, which is how we were selling beer to go. And we decided that until we could figure out a way to do this in a contactless way, we decided to protect our staff and the public by just closing after the stay-at-home order. So in the last month or so, we have worked out a way to do online sales and for pickup beer at the brewery. You can do that now, and you can come out, go online, check our webpage, order beer, and then come out to the brewery, and we'll hand it to you in your car. We'll be wearing a mask and ask that you do the same.
But leave it down at the end of the driveway.
Well, unfortunately, and some of the brewers in Maryland got in a little bit of trouble with this. You still have to check ID when you sell beer to someone. You're not allowed to just drop it off on your front porch, or you have to still check your ID to make sure that you're 21 or older. So,
well, that makes sense.
So, fortunately, in Maryland, your Maryland ID has your profile picture or your portrait picture, and if you have a profile picture, we know that you're not 21. So, anyway, it's fairly easy to check ID in a contactless way as well. So we're trying that again. We'll see how that goes. Every other activity at the brewery is suspended right now. We would be a month out from our annual brew fest at the farm. which generally has about 1,000 attendees. This would have been our 10th festival on the farm. We've had to cancel our first crab feast. We do a crab feed 3 times a year. We do and music every Saturday. So the business is basically closed.
And this is typical for, I mean, a lot of breweries and wineries have events.
In Maryland,
whether it's weddings or concerts or whatever, that must be a significant part of your revenue stream.
A significant part of every beverage maker, craft beverage maker in Maryland is their tasting room and events that they do in their tasting room, whether you're a downtown small brewery in an industrial area, such as Attaboy or Old Mother, or there, which is downtown, or a farm brewery like us, or Red Shedman, or Adam Fry. Your main business is your tasting room, and if you don't have your tasting room operating, your main source of income is gone. So every one of us is in that boat right now, and so our only option is to sell beer to go. We are allowed right now, temporarily, because of the state of emergency, to deliver beer. We're not delivering beer, but some breweries and I think wineries are delivering beer, which is a problem because you have to have face-to-face contact and check that ID. We heard that some beverages were being left on the front porch, and you actually have to deliver it to a live human being who is over 21. But so most of our revenue stream is gone. We are allowed to do farmers markets. We are not doing a farmers market. Farmers markets were a good source of revenue for us, but at none of the farmers markets are you allowed to offer samples. And I don't know if you're going to want to buy my beer if you can't taste it first. We're allowed to give a 1 ounce sample, and so we're not.
Unless you're a familiar customer, regular customer.
And which we had regular customers at our farmers markets, but so we're not doing that right now. Plus, I'm not so sure it's safe to be out there in that much of the public. So, so we're doing what we are allowed to do under the law, under governor's state of emergency. We're fortunate that my general manager, Sarah Healy, is the president of the Brewers Association, and she's been working closely with Kevin Addix, who is our executive director, not only for the brewers, but also for the winemakers and the distillers. He is on the tourism board, working with Governor Hogan on his reopen committee. So we do, so we hear what's happening with that. And quite frankly, there isn't a lot happening with that because Governor Hogan is following the rule, and he's not going to reopen Maryland until we hit 2 weeks of the downhill slope. So,
and that's just one of the phases. I mean, there are multiple.
Phase 1.
Yeah.
Well, phase 1 happens then. We don't, and there's still a lot of questions about what does that mean exactly. Are we going to be able to open the tasting room again in phase 1? Our own personal idea is that we won't open the inside part of the tasting room, but we do have a large outdoor patio. We have, a lot of outdoor space for customers, and a beautiful view. And a beautiful view, and I think that our customers would feel safer outside. Our tasting room is tiny, and you've been there, so it's a tiny little spot that it gets crowded and busy, and which is a good thing when everyone's healthy. So I don't know if the breweries and wineries are going to be able to open during phase 1 or phase 2. Certainly can't have a beer festival until phase 3, which is, I think, groups of larger than 250 people are allowed to get together. So who knows how long that's going to be. And then who knows how long, whether or not when states start opening, and we'll see, I'm sure, in a week or so, with states that have started to open, are we going to see a resurgence of this virus?
Do you, since you're both in your role and through Sarah and other activities, more aware perhaps of what's happening kind of industry-wide in the county and in the state than a lot of people might be?
Oh yeah, I think we definitely have an inside track, kind of, because of Sarah's involvement. She is the president, and because she deals with Kevin, I think they're on the phone every day. We have insight into all 3 of the beverage industries here in Maryland: the wineries, distilleries, and the breweries.
Do you get the feeling, the sense, have you heard anything, particularly clear about whether any of them are not going to be able to make it through all of this, or are people fairly confident that overall, based on their business model, any kind of state or federal support, that they're going to be okay?
We're afraid we're going to lose some. Quite frankly, we're afraid we're going to lose some. When I think I heard about 2 weeks ago, the National Brewers Association estimated we could lose up to 60% of new breweries in the United States.
If you say new, you said new breweries?
New brewery within the last year,
Okay.
because they're facing large debt, and all of a sudden there's a large nut to crack with no income to crack it with. So I think that we're going to see. I think we're going to see a change in our three industries. I don't think it's going to be good. I think that the ones who survive are going to be fine, and they will survive. And I think it's kind of how deep are your pockets, and how loyal are your customers going to be to you on this temporary, sell as much as you can to go processes we've got going right now.
So do you feel that the business model for this in general has made you guys more vulnerable than a lot of other sort of businesses that bring people in for food, for alcohol, for other things? Or has you been a little more flexible given other activities at the farm, the ability to, start up events again at some point, not for a while, those sorts of things?
Well, we're fortunate at the farm. We have, the brewery is one of our activities on the farm. And I'm just talking about our own farm brewery. We're a farm. We're a farm first, and we have to have a brewery on the farm.
Mm-hmm.
And the brewery is a significant source of income for the farm. But we also make a profit on our sheep business. We sell a lot of hay, good quality, horse quality hay during the year. There's other, we sell on the sheep business, we sell wool, we sell fleeces, we sell meat. So we do okay. Plus Carolann and I are both retired. We have a retirement. I got my first Social Security check last month. How about that?
Congratulations.
So so turned 66 and went ahead and took my Social Security. So we'll be fine. The farm is still doing its regular activities. I've been working on hay equipment, getting hay equipment ready, overseeded about 12 acres of hay fields, already fertilized hay fields this year. Finished lambing a couple of weeks ago. We've been actually very busy on the farm. Cleared a mile of fence line that's kind of needed it for a couple of years. And
well, I saw some photos of some baby lambs.
Oh yeah, so we have new babies, 15 little ones on the ground. I have one bottle baby, which is kind of a pain, but he's very cute. He may not make it to the freezer, actually, but
I was going to ask if you name them and if that makes it harder.
Doesn't make it harder. Yeah, we name them all, but it doesn't make it harder.
Yeah. So it's good that the farm activities are still working for you, that hasn't gone away at the same time or in the same manner. But the brewery part and some of your other activities have employees. How have things been with them? How's that worked out?
If we were just having a conversation, I'd say, don't even go there. It's
Sorry.
bad. I had, I have 6 employees, really 7. I have somebody who helps with farmers markets, and she had taken time off already, so she wasn't going to come back until this summer. Anyway, so I laid off my entire what we call tap tender staff, 4 women who work for me running the bar, and I laid off my brewer, Harry Harn, and my phone is somewhere. It's ringing. I don't know where it is, but I hear it. I'm not going to.
Well, it's live television, so to speak. Don't worry about it.
I'm not going to worry. So, and then my manager, Sarah, has been working without pay until yesterday, because I got my PPP money through Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit. Thank you, Mary Jane Rook. You're awesome. I've been trying to get it through PNC. PNC was a nightmare. That's who we do our business banking with. Not for long, I don't think, but Woodsboro Bank, here we come. Nothing like a good community bank.
Well, I've heard that people who have been working with some of the more local and regional banks have had more success.
That's what I
That's
heard too.
anecdotal. I don't know statistically if that's true or not, but it sure seems to be something I've been hearing.
Well, and we have always done our farm financing through Mid-Atlantic Farm Credit, and Mary Jane Rook has always been our loan officer. And she called, and at first I didn't hear that Farm Credit was going to do the PPP loan. Then she called me and said, "We're going to do it." I said, "Well, I've already applied through PNC. I'm, in the queue, so to speak." Then she called me a week ago Monday and said, "Every loan I've put through has been successful." And I had just gotten an email from PNC saying something happened at the SBA. We don't know where your loan is. We don't know what's going to happen. So I called Mary Jane. I'm sending PNC an email to cancel. Put me in for it. An hour later, she called. You're approved. So,
Well, that's nice. I'm glad for you, though it has been hard to hear stories from so many people who have been spending literally hours and hours and hours trying to just make a connection, get through, talk to somebody, get a form filled out, get a response.
I was afraid that, well, that's what was happening with us. I applied the very first day of the being able to apply for the PPP, and I missed the first round through PNC. When the second round came, I thought I was going to miss that round as well, and I probably would have if I had stuck with them. If I had made that decision to stay with PNC instead of going with Farm Credit, I probably would have lost that too. So anyway, I was lucky. I got our money, so I can pay Sarah. I can pay Harry. There's a big problem with the PNC, with the PPP loan, though, and I'm not sure how this is going to be resolved. You have to use it within 2 months, the first 2 months after you receive the funds, to pay payroll, and then you get 2.5 times of your average monthly payroll. You're supposed to use 75% of it for payroll. 25% you're allowed to use for mortgage interest, other interest for other kinds of loans, your rent, utilities, healthcare for employees, and that's it. And anything else you have to pay it back, which is not a problem. It's a 1% loan. It not due till December. But I don't have a tasting room right now. How am I going to hire these people back to work if I don't have a tasting room?
And you don't know how long it's going to be before that changes.
And I have no idea. So I'm going to hold on to the money until somebody tells me, well, you either have to spend it or pay it back right now. So thank God they're on unemployment right now. They were able to get on to Maryland unemployment. And they're all fine. They're all going to be fine. They're on unemployment. That lasts 6 months. I don't have a job to offer them, because if I offered them a job, say, well, I got 2 months to pay. Why don't you come in and scrub the walls or something?
Right.
Then they would lose their unemployment. And who knows if they could get back on after 2 months. I'm still not open.
No, I wouldn't take that risk, especially with the supplemental funding for the unemployment, right now. But, one of the things, before we, wrap this up in a few minutes, that is a big question mark is, some people tend to assume that it's all about the emergency declaration and state of emergency and the particular restrictions that are in place. But even if all of the restrictions were removed tomorrow, there are going to be people making individual decisions that are going to affect their behavior, their willingness to be out in society, attend events, go to restaurants and breweries and things like that. I got to imagine that a lot of people in this business and restaurants and other things like that depend on that kind of people coming in the door, sitting down, can't really count on things returning to normal just because the phase 4 or because the conditions are gone or anything like that. Has there been much discussion about that?
Oh yeah, we talk about what's it going to look like in the future, and I don't believe in returning to normal. I think we have a new normal coming.
Yeah.
have a lot of customers, regular customers who I don't see them anymore, but they are working from home for the first time or working home every day for the first time rather than 1 or 2 days a week. And I think if corporate America and Americans are smart, we're going to keep people home to work. Maybe not every day, but 3, 4 days a week. Go to.
Well, and obviously more or less in some industries, some jobs lend themselves to that, some don't, but
Absolutely.
you know.
So, for us and for the other beverage producers, I think we're going to see something totally different. You know, you see the news footage of restaurants in Georgia opening with, you know, every other table is closed, or there's ribbons across areas of restaurants you can't go in. And I think we're going to see something like that because people are still, other than the few dozen, I love the headline in the Frederick News Post, dozens of people protest across America. It's you know, it's like old science fiction movies. Tens of dollars were spent on special effects. I think people are going to be smart about it. You know, I think people are going to expect to stay away from people and not be in too close contact with each other and wear their masks. I mean, you can't wear a mask and drink a beer, but you can sit outside with your small group of people with a table that's 10 feet away from the next table. And I think you can feel comfortable doing that. Order with an outside bar. You won't have tables inside the tasting room, you know, that kind of thing. So, but how many people are going to want to come out and see us? I don't know. You know, I don't know.
Well, we're going to find out. It's the same thing with, you know, movie theaters, performing arts, concerts. I mean, I think whether we return to normal in one way or another, we're not going to get to even whatever that is in any kind of way we can be clear about until after there's a vaccine, and that could take a while.
It could take a
So
while.
you have a website, you have a social media.
We do.
I will make sure that I put the links to both of them in with the video so people can check out both, like your page, things like that. But if somebody wants to take a nice drive out in the beautiful East Frederick County farm countryside and pick up some beer, they get all the information they need on the Facebook page or the website.
They can at milkhousebrewery.com, and Facebook is at Milkhouse Brewery, and all the information about how to order and when to pick up. I think we're doing pickup Thursday and Friday, 3 to 7, but I think ordering is, I think it's Monday through Friday, or 10 to 10, which would be or maybe Monday through Sunday, which is all week, 10 to 10, which is our legal business hours. So yeah, we're on Facebook. You can come and watch. There's a video of my lambs running around, I think. You know, so the farm is still going. So come out and see us, 8253 Dolly Hyde Road in beautiful Southeast Frederick County. So.
And even though that's on the website, I'll post it as well, the address. Tomorrow I'm venturing out to go pick up some tomato plants. So maybe I could hold off until at least 3 o'clock in the afternoon and make a pickup on my way.
Pre-order, so pre-order only. So
I'll do that.
Okay,
well, I've said it right now in public, so you know I'll be there. And but you said Thursday and Friday, right?
Thursday and Friday, that's right.
All right. Well, Tom, I know this is a hard time for you, for a lot of people, for your staff and everybody else. I'm glad the farm is still a daily, experience for you, and you're getting to do that anyway in the meantime. But thank you for taking a little time to talk about it, and good luck. I hope everything goes well.
Thanks, Kai.
Take care.